My faith journey began while I was living in Spain with a Seventh-day Adventist couple. I had moved to Madrid from my home country of Romania for work, and I rented a room from this couple. I had never heard about Adventism before, but I noticed that they would dress up every Saturday and head to church while I went to work. Over time, I became curious and started asking questions and eventually attended an evangelistic seminar and was baptized. In the midst of my conversion, I really wanted another young adult to talk to about all I was thinking and learning. Through God's leading, I met a young man online who had been baptized into the Adventist Church just a few years before me. Daniel and I began writing back and forth while he was deployed to Iraq, and our relationship grew over time until we decided to get married. We knew we had hurdles to jump through since I was not a U.S. citizen, but I applied for a visa, and we planned our wedding and bought plane tickets for January 9, 2008. The week before my scheduled departure, Daniel flew to Spain to meet me so we could fly to the U.S. together. However, my visa application still hadn't been approved. We continued praying for God's guidance, and at the last minute on January 7th, I received my visa. Upon arriving in the States, we got married and decided to settle in Fayetteville, North Carolina. We bought a home and lived there for a year before Daniel was transferred to Augusta, Georgia. So we bought a townhome in Augusta and decided to rent the home in Fayetteville. But keeping up with two mortgages, especially when we struggled to keep renters in the Fayetteville home, meant that we didn't return our tithe on a regular basis. Some months we would pay a little, other months we wouldn't pay anything. Fast forward to 2017, we still had two homes and a contract on a third house, which felt like a precarious situation, but one we were covering in prayer. We had been trying to sell the Fayetteville home for years to no avail. We also felt convicted that we needed to move out of the city of Augusta and into the country. The chain of events that unfolded in the span of the next 2 days still amazes me and is a constant reminder that God is sovereign. On the day we signed the contract on our country home, my husband got a call from his unit saying that he was being transferred to Syracuse, New York. We were distraught. We now owned 3 homes and were moving. But God was working. By 12:30 a.m., we received an email from our realtor saying that we had a buyer for the Fayetteville home at our asking price. The next morning, we got up and listed our townhome in Augusta. That same day, we had 3 offers, one of which was $5,000 above our asking price. More remarkable than selling our 2 homes was that the profit we made on the Fayetteville home was the exact amount of tithe we were to return that month, which spurred us to commit to returning a 10% tithe to God from that point forward. Through all of this, we were reminded that it is not our money, it's God's money, and He promises to work things out for our good. We ended up moving to Syracuse, New York, but God brought us back to Augusta, and we were able to move into our country home. It didn't all fall into place like we thought it would, but God faithfully worked things out for our benefit. For this reason, and countless others, it is our privilege to return our tithes and offerings to Him.
Taste and see